Hi, my name is William Broderick, owner of Brewed Products LLC and the inventor of the Clear Beer Draught System. Just want to talk a little today about the benefits of using it. Anybody, homebrewers are very familiar with the typical corny kegs, soda kegs, and this is current design is to draw the beer off the bottom of the keg via this dip tube. These kegs were originally designed for soda. I'm sure those are filtered products, and so drawing off the bottom probably wasn't an issue. It was probably, as I say, it was probably filtered before it was put into the kegs. So I got tired of drinking cloudy, yeasty beer, so that was the inspiration behind the Clear Beer Draught System. And what it is it's all stainless steel float that will has a pickup tube down the bottom here. So when the keg's empty, it'll be situated like this, and then as you fill the keg, it will rotate up, and it will sit up to the top of the keg, and it'll draw the clear, sediment-free beer from the top surface versus the cloudy, yeasty beer from the bottom. So what I'm going to try and do today is just I have two kegs here. I have one, they were kegged on the same date. It's about 3 weeks ago. This is a German Pilsner. It's just one malt, one hop. Very, I just wanted to try and get the clearest beer I could for this demonstration. One unit over here, I have the Clear Beer Draught System installed. This one has the traditional dip tube. So let's pour some beer out of the, let me use the Clear Beer Draught System one first. And we'll okay, and let that sit a minute while I switch the lines over. Oh, being stuck. There we go. Okay, okay, I'm just going to drain this, get the contents of the line out of there. Okay, there again, that's being drawn off the dip tube. Okay, as you can see, let me bring these up a little closer. The one on my right is the one drawn from the clear beer, and the one on the left is drawn from the dip tube, and you can see there's a considerable difference in the clarity of those two beers. I know which one I'd rather drink, and that's the advantage of using this. I would have to wait for this beer to be drawn off the bottom to get to this level of clarity. Maybe 2-3 more weeks, maybe a month, who knows, because all that sediment continues to drop out, and you continue drawing it off the bottom with the dip tube. So it works fantastic. I've been using it for about 5 years now, and I just couldn't imagine going back to using just going off the dip tube. And I can transport this keg with the float in it. I don't have to worry about it stirring up sediment and drinking the sediment that's gotten stirred up. I made a couple notes here. I don't want to forget anything. Again, I just talked about being able to move the keg. Using the keg as a secondary fermenter, usually what I'll do is when primary fermentation is complete, I'll when there's still life in the airlock, I'll rack the beer into the keg at room temperature and let it sit for 3 or 4 days. That way any oxygen introduced will be consumed by the still active yeast. Diacetyl will be taken care of. So leave it at room temperature for 3 or 4 days. And you'll also start naturally carbonating the keg a little bit. And that will greatly improve the shelf life of your beer. You don't have to go back to a secondary fermenter. It saves you time. It works really well. Dry hopping, just put pellets, toss them right in the keg. You don't have to put them in a sock or anything, because once the pellets get saturated and do their thing after 4 to 7 days. Leave it at room temperature. Give the keg a couple shakes, and the remaining solids will drop down. Since you're drawing from the top, you won't get any particulate matter. It works really well. Fining agents, I generally don't find it necessary to use fining agents, but you can, and literally within 12 hours a day at the most, you'll have crystal clear beer from the top of the keg. So if you're in a hurry and you want to get something ready to bottle for a competition, something to enter or whatever, I have used them, but generally I don't find it necessary. Fits all keg sizes. This is a regular Cornelius ball lock style keg. It's the tallest of the keg, so the silicone hose that's supplied is long enough, obviously, for that keg. But any of the shorter kegs, you'll just have to cut the hose to length. I have instructions on the website for doing that. The full volume, the float, there's enough dead space in the top of the keg, so you can, whatever volume you were putting in before, the float won't detract from that. You'll still be able to put the full volume of the beer in the keg, and it will also, the way the base is designed and the intake port faces up when the float bottoms out, you'll get all the beer that you normally would, and it's all clear to the very end. Use it on all types of beers. I use it Hefeweizens, dark stouts, whatever, because the yeast it's not just about the clarity, it's about how clean the beer is. That's when it really tastes good. So even with a stout, you don't want to be drinking a pile of yeast. So I use the float with that. The Hefeweizens, you want them to be a little cloudy, but you don't want them to be just completely opaque, just a murky mess. Using the float, you can get the desired level of cloudiness on a Hefeweizen pretty quick, and those types of beers should be consumed, when they're fresh. Easy to clean and sanitize. You just remove. It comes supplied with a short dip tube. You remove the long dip tube, obviously, and you replace it with the short dip tube. So you pull the hose off the end of that. Take all the parts out of the keg, and it's very easy to visually confirm that you've got everything clean and sanitized. I'll soak it in an alkaline-based cleaner, rinse it, and then definitely put it in a acidic acid sanitizer, Star San. I'll always soak it in that before I put it back in the keg. Check the frequently asked questions on the website. I have a lot of good information on there. Again, a lot of it's my experiences from using this for so many years, and the instructions from use are on there too. There's a lot of good information in there. And like any of your other brewing hardware, once you purchase this, the parts are, as I said, they're all stainless steel, all corrosion resistant. It does have moving parts, but they move, slowly, obviously. It'll last you a lifetime. The rubber hoses, after many brews, just like any of your other brewing hoses, you'll probably want to replace them, but that's not a big expense. And again, I think you can, excuse the pun, clearly see which beer you would rather drink. Again, I guarantee you, I promise you, I kegged these on the exact same day. So, this one over here is ready to go. You could read a newspaper through that, and this one here is, it's got a ways to go. So I hope this gets the point across I was trying to make, that we all brew to enjoy good tasting, visually appealing beer. I mean, and this is going to help you. This is how this beer should taste. This is going to help you consume better beer. This right now is going to be, you're going to taste the yeast. The yeast can get can have a bite to it. So thank you, and buy one today.